Have you ever thought about making your own handmade wedding card? I needed to make one, watch how I figure it out and maybe paint along. I did a few ideas. This was a fail, not the right colours. This was a fail because it was too bright. Then I did another little design and it's getting better, sort of more autumnal, and this is the one I decided on. All the materials I'm using will be in the description box for you. If you haven't got a stencil like this, feel free to just sort of freehand it. But it was quite handy to use this stencil. I've got a Micron waterproof pen as well. And this is the design I'm sort of roughly following. So what I'm going to do to start off with is draw the leaves. You can use a pencil if you're not happy to use a pen, and I have got some leaves on Etsy if you do want to purchase those. Not this particular design. If you do want this specific design, I will of course do that for you, but let me know in the comments if that is something you are wanting. Or you can follow along with me. Begin with a line for the centre of the vein, then shape an oval that narrows to a point. Doesn't have to be perfect. Each leaf with that will have its own little charm. And then you can repeat the process for either all the way around or just like what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it on this section. I'm going to rub a bit more out and then I'm just going to do a bit more on this section, and then we'll do a slightly different design on different parts of where the heart is. So here's a bit of context for you. I was basically asked to create a wedding card for a couple getting married in October. So of course I said yes, I will give it a go and get in with those autumn vibes. It's definitely autumn here now, or fall as you call it in America. But I didn't want to draw pumpkins because that's not what I'm good at, really, to be completely honest. I'm good at leaves and I needed the right colour scheme as well, which is why the other card, when I said it was too bright, that colour scheme just wasn't right for them. So I've done the leaves there. I'm just trying to work out where I'm going to put the next set of leaves. So I think I'm going to go opposite, or rather diagonal. Diagonally opposite is where I'm going to do the next set of leaves. And in case we haven't met, I'm Shahnaz. I'm the creator of this channel, which is Bloom Art by SW. I've been painting in watercolours for a number of years now, and I'm here to help you if you're a beginner. I know what it's like. I know it's quite scary and quite daunting when you first start with watercolours. So I'm here to help you and just to show you how easy it actually is and not to be scared by it at all. So I'm just working out where to put the leaves, and I've just tilted the page slightly. I'm just trying to stick with following the heart shape and not go off track as well. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's fine. I've worked it out and hopefully you can work it out as well. I'm going to tilt the page a bit more. Feel free to do that as well if you are following along. And I'm just going to carry on this next bit, carry on that around the heart shape. I don't think I've mentioned this, but I'm using 100% cotton watercolour paper at £140 or 300 GSM, and it's folded in half. If you need help with how to fold, I'll leave you a link in the description box just to show you how to fold thick watercolour paper. Okay, so let's check my previous design, and I've got some like swirly twigs, thin branches sort of entwining around the heart shape. So I'm just going to do some little squiggles, and they sort of look like berries or buds that are about to open out. So let's get those little circles added on. I'm being careful not to get carried away. It's so easy to just run away with it and just keep going and keep going, but I'm just being really careful. Just do a little bit, take a step back, take a glance at it, and just decide if you need more. How long have you been painting for? I've been painting for pretty much 3 years now, and I just really enjoy it. And I have recently bought some watercolour pencils as well. So if that is something you're interested in, I swatched 40 colours in a previous video. So I will leave you the link in the description box if you are interested in those. It wasn't just a normal swatch, it was a tree swatch with a difference. So definitely check that out and let me know in the comments how long you've been painting for as well. So I've just used some putty rubber just to get rid of some of the pencil markings, just to make that look a bit tidier. With these Micron pens, they're really good. You just have to wait like literally a few seconds or so just for it to dry out, and then it won't smudge, and then you can use watercolours on them as well. Let's test out some colours before we actually put them onto the card. This one is Chinese orange. This is perfect. What a perfect, gorgeous colour. And this is from the Senelia paint range. And then I've got another colour. This is a green I've already made up using lemon yellow and some blue. And then I've got some shimmer colours as well. This is unbranded, so I don't really know what the exact colours are called. All I know is that there's some gold, some greens, purples, and like a reddy brown colour, which is nice and shimmery as well. But we'll still test them out on the card just to check. If you've got some slightly different colours that shimmer or sparkle, or you've got some gold or silver, you can use that to add on as details. I'm always about using what you've got. Don't go out especially to go and get something. Any sort of shimmer colour with some sparkle or glittery will make it look extra special. I'm also just thinking I'm going to put on some twigs or branches in the gold or the brown round the bottom of the heart that I've just rubbed out there. Here's a quick practice for us. So I'll do that in a second, but I'm going to start with painting the leaves, and I'm going to paint like this. I have sped this up slightly, but please don't worry. I haven't done any sort of special technique or anything. I'm literally just painting it as I see fit in this Chinese orange colour. And I'm just working my way around nice and carefully. Normally, I'd say don't worry about going out of the lines. But because this is a card going to someone as a gift, money's going to go inside and be given as a gift that way. I just want it as neat as possible. But normally I would be saying, you know, don't worry about it too much. Have some fun with it, definitely. But if you are giving it to someone or a loved one or a friend, then, you know, maybe do try and be a touch bit neat in how you go about it. This is such a good design though, because you can use the same stencil or the same idea and just tweak it slightly for Valentine's Day or even Christmas, or even just as a thank you note. I will probably do another one, and this time don't do any drawing and just keep everything freehand. I'll definitely think of something like that for you, and then we can paint that together as well. Maybe consider subscribing, because I am trying to stick to a schedule and trying to upload every Friday, but I don't always get a chance to finish off editing. That's the bit that takes the longest. So even though this looks really quick and easy, it might be, but it's the editing that takes a little while. So consider subscribing, and then you get a notification to tell you when something new is uploaded, or just check back again. That's absolutely fine as well. So as you can see here, I'm just focusing on each separate leaf. I was going to do the opposite leaf and not focus on the one next to it, but then I changed my mind and I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to get the basic colour down and basically just get it finished. Don't worry too much about the colours bleeding into each other, because we're doing the same for each one. It doesn't really matter too much. We are going to add in a little bit of detail a bit later on, just to give the wreath, the heart wreath, a little bit of depth. Also, it is a small picture or smaller picture to what I normally do. The brush is actually quite small. It's a size 4 silver black velvet brush, and it's got a really nice point on the end of it, which makes it really good to get into those details. The brush is really good. It does hold quite a lot of water, but because it's small, perhaps not as much water as I would like, and maybe that is a good thing. And I'm just going in with some green pigment that I made up earlier, just to add in places, just to give it a bit of variation to the colours that I've got on there. And also just adding in some shadow, just sort of a leaf behind a leaf where there's likely to be shadow or some darker areas, just to give it some tonal value. The main colour I wanted to use in this is that Chinese orange colour, because that's the colour of the bridesmaid dresses. So that colour was absolutely perfect. I'm just being careful not to go in too heavy-handed with that green. I'm going to do that really nice sparkly golden yellow gold colour now. So these are going to be those twigs that I mentioned earlier on this bit. So I'm going to do some sort of squiggly lines again, and I'm not drawing this bit. I'm just going to do that completely freehand, completely loose drawing. And the way I'm doing this is just using mostly the pointy part of the brush. If you don't feel comfortable painting this directly onto your card, onto your final piece, make sure you just practice on some scrap paper and just practice a little bit first. I'm 100% positive that if you are a beginner, there is no reason why you can't do that. Look at that sparkle. There's absolutely no reason why you can't do that. And if you haven't got shimmer paints, you can do that with yellow, or a different colour, or bright red if you really want to. It'll just stand out. So I've used the colour next to the gold, which was like an orangey, peachy colour, just to go over this part of the heart. At first I thought it's not going to make a difference, but it's actually stood out quite a bit, and it actually does add to it. And then I'm just going to put some of that peachy sparkly on another leaf, and then I felt like it didn't quite work. I think I did put on too much, and it's taken away a bit of the detail underneath, even though I'm going to add more detail. So I just rinsed my brush and just picked up a bit of that colour, because I just felt like it just didn't quite fit in what I was trying to do. And then I'm just adding some of that same colour just on this leaf here, just so that it sort of matches up. I've got like a reddy brown sparkly colour here, and I'm using this just to add on a little bit of detail within the leaves. You don't have to do this. It's just something that I wanted to add on, just to give it a little bit of detail. It just depends what you feel comfortable with doing, and you can practice all of this before you actually create a card to actually give to someone. You don't have to do it all in one go. I honestly think you should practice. In fact, I did practice, like you saw the designs I did beforehand, and some of this I am just making up as I go along, but I had a rough idea of what I was going to do, and that can only come from practicing. I've just gone in close up, just in areas, just so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. I really like this colour so much. I feel like it's a really autumnal plum colour, warm and vibrant. So I just wanted to add some more of that colour onto the branches that I did on the heart earlier. I've got another even richer, vibrant colour as well. This red, this really gorgeous red burgundy sparkly colour. So I'm going to use that as the berries that we added on earlier. So I'm just adding them on to the circles or the buds that we did a bit earlier on, just to try and bring them to life a bit more. I have sped this up a tiny bit as well again, just be careful, and you'll see in a second, or you can see it now, I've made a teeny tiny mistake. Right, let me show you where I've done. Let me get a pencil, not my fat fingers, and just to show you where I've done it wrong. It's kind of, two berries have sort of gelled into each other. There's only one way to sort that out: splatter. So if that happens to you, don't worry. I'm going to add some more splatter later and I'll show you exactly what happens. Oh, I've just I've just done a bit too much in that corner, and let's just leave it. Let's focus on the details. I'm just painting the leaf underneath this top leaf, just to make it look like there's a little bit of a shadow. And this is where we can start to add a touch more shadow, touch more detail in places. So the same, I'm doing exactly the same here. Just add on a touch of colour in places, not too much, just a little bit of detail. And I'm just repeating exactly the same process, just to the edges of these leaves. And that is it. I don't want to add too much more detail. I don't want to get too carried away. I'm going to add a bit more shimmer paints. I'm going to go with the green this time and just try and hide the fact that I've made a couple of mistakes, but it really doesn't matter. It still works. I'm still really happy with it all. I'm going to take the masking tape off, and I'm going to do a little border for you. I just feel like a border finishes it off, and also I had this funny bit in the corner, so I'm going to use this really nice shimmer brown colour just to finish off with a border. Now, if you watched the other video, the card making video, I'm not good with straight lines, so I'm going to go in with these wiggly lines, and it still really works. I feel like it still works. I have already painted a few handmade card ideas for you, so I'll leave you those links in the description box, so feel free to have a look at those. Let me know in the comments what you thought to this. Did you feel like you can achieve this? Do you think you'll have a go? I am on Instagram and TikTok. I'm at Bloom Art by SW, so feel free to contact me or show me what you've done. And this is pretty much it. I'm really happy. I'm going to be using my watercolour pencils in the next video to draw and paint some leaves. If you want to join me in that one, I'll see you there.